video, I was gonna do this video anyway, but now I'm gonna definitely be doing it for a couple of specific reasons. One, for the channel, so I can show persons how to, how I'm using this. Not how to use this, but how I'm using it. I've never used this before. I've never opened this. I have no clue. And I always do videos on being a clueless person, opening up an item for the first time. So I sort of like, I want to understand what others go through when they open things up. So I give you my first impressions, sort of a one take type of thing, just like the GizWiz does. So I'm doing this for the GizWiz so that they can actually maybe use this item for their own purposes, because they use their phones for doing videos for their channel, and this could be a really good idea for backing up your actual phone, your precious pictures and videos, and I don't know what other items it'll back up, but according to what I've read, it does video and photo backups. I'm also doing it for a friend of mine's wife who's also concerned about the picked photos she has on her the digital format photos she has on her phones and other digital items, maybe tablets, and using this to do constant backups for her phone and her kids' phones and her husband's phone, so they could put everything in one place and have photos all in one area so they could look at it. I've also explained to her about cloud uploading to the cloud, so that when you're doing specific searches on persons or events or even homes, you could actually, under like Amazon Photos or Google Photos, you could actually just search for pictures with grass in it, or houses, or birthdays, or other parties. So it's very good to have that, because then you can get the specific pictures you're looking for. But I always believe not only should you have it on the cloud, you should also have it on a physical format, like a hard drive. So I used to do CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays. I still do. I don't do it as often, but I still do. But I still believe in getting at least 3 formats of backups, which would be actually having the phones and videos on your phone. A lot of people don't like to remove them because they like to share, especially offline. So they'll keep it on their phones. That's one form of backup. The second form would be on a hard drive, an actual hard drive that you can keep on the side, maybe a save. And I suggest that if it's your photos and videos, you have 2 hard drives, 2 physically different hard drives backing both the same photos and videos. So if one fails, you still have that backup. And then doing cloud backup. So I'm showing them how to be able to take this information, put it on the external hard drive, and upload it to the cloud. But this video is just going to be on using the item and how well it works, since I do a lot of transfers of videos. And my transfer of video from the iPhone is usually this. This is the item I use to back up my iPhone. The only issue is that it only comes in Lightning form. This company does not make, well, they make a USB form, a PNY Duo, but the problem with that is that it doesn't work on my iPad that uses USB-C right now. So I can't use a USB device with the application for iOS to back up. I have to do it through other software or through the actual file browser option. I just like the way this works, where I put it in, run the app, and it does it for me. So I'm hoping this does the same exact thing, and that's what I'm looking. But because it does Android is USB-C. So I'm assuming, since it does Android, it will also do any other USB device, including iOS. So I'm hoping for that. So let's see what we get out of it. Let me use it, and I'll show you what I'm going through. And I believe that you do still need a power source. It does not come with a power brick. It actually just comes with the device, and you use it with a power source. You have to get one. So this is everything inside. And at the end, I'll have everything on it. I'll have all this at the end on a slideshow. This is the actual device. And as you can see, it does not have a power supply in the box at all. This is all that comes in the box, is this device. You're going to need 2 additional devices, which is going to be a power source. I have one here. and you're going to need a micro SD card. So I purchased a micro SD card, 1 terabyte. Now the reason I purchased 1 terabyte is not because I'm going to need 1 terabyte on a daily basis, but when I go on vacation, I sometimes actually run out of space. I think I have about 512 gigs on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, but still I will get to the point where I've run out of space if I'm on vacation for. Sorry, this is the actual. It comes with the adapter. So I will run out of space on vacation. It'll be nice to be able to back it up, erase the pictures from my phone, and continue videotaping and taking pictures. I like high quality videos. I try to do 4K and the highest quality I could do for the pictures themselves, because storing and printing becomes an easier task when you do that. So this will help me, especially on vacation. I'm out and about, to be able to transfer my items to another source so I can clear my phone to take more videos and pictures. So this is how it actually will work. Let me give you a close-up look at the actual item. They have a USB-C version and a USB-A version. I want the USB-A version. I could have bought the USB-C because I actually do have a power brick that actually does USB-C, and it's a high wattage, I think 18 watt or 20 watt. So it's a fast charger. But I like the USB-A because of the universal use of it, and plus it'll be easy to plug into my computer and laptop. Even though they have USB-C, it'll just be easy to use the USB-A portion on anything, on any computer I may have that doesn't have USB-C. So that's why I went with USB-A. This is USB-A, if you don't know, USB-A. And then the way you use it, it's tiny. Now, one of the things when you use a high-speed charger, it's about, let's do it from the 2. It's about an inch. It's about an inch. Very light, 1 1/8. So it's not that big if you're looking to see if it'll fit. It's very light, doesn't weigh anything. And this is the little slot right there where you put the micro SD in. And you take it and put it like this. Awesome. Like that. It's in there real easy, and to take it out, you just press it again, it comes out. And then you press it in. So it's very light. One of the things is that when you do have a high-speed charger, it will reduce the wattage that you're going to be getting from your power adapter. I put that little dot there just to show me that it actually works with the iPhone. Some of them, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So it will reduce the wattage that you're getting from the actual adapter when you're using this, because I guess this needs to also power this to do the transfer. It needs power. And then what you'll do is something as simple as put it in here. And now you have a charging unit. So let's plug it up. Let's put my phone on it and see what happens. So according to the manual, I've got to download the, I don't even know how to say, sorry. Wrong language. Qubii Pro app. Qubii Pro app. So let me use my camera so it could just lead me to that. This is the page that opened up. In this case, it's iOS 4.9, so it's got a very good rating. This is how the app looks like. And some of the pictures on it. So let me get the app. This is January of 2023, and this is how the app looks like for now. It's got very good rating, so I'm very hopefully optimistic. All right, let me purchase the item. When I said purchase, it's free. I'm just authorizing the actual download. Okay, let me run the app now. This is how it looks like on the actual iOS. And again, my biggest thing is to actually get this to, so now this is what comes up. Let me, the actual app, the whole thing. And click OK. Now allow access to photos. Yes, that's a definite go. That's a definite yes. Now I do continue. And it's gonna ask me, do I want total access to the app? And yeah, sure. Access all photos and video. All access. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll let them access to back up my contacts. I didn't know it did that also. So it's telling you it's only going to be saved to the memory card, not uploaded. I hope that's true. Again, I'm going to click OK. Allow progress notification during backup. You'll get a notification. Yeah, sure. I'm going to allow that to happen. And yes, I'm going to allow. Okay. I bought a SanDisk card. I mean, it's not the highest speed, but it should do just fine. And the link to the one I purchased and letting you know how mine worked will be below, so you'll be able to click on that if you want. There's no connection. I don't know, you know, I just bought this for my own money. I'm just giving you the link I used. You know, I don't get anything for it. I'm just giving you easy access to the items I purchased that are on the video. That's all. And I got a halfway decent price, so I'm not gonna complain. Even though I saw it on Newegg recently, about $8 cheaper, but what are you gonna do? So let me click continue again. It's recommended I use the original cable. Yeah, I use the ones that actually work. I know that iOS always does updates, and you know, I bought a lot of eBay, Amazon cheap, no-name brand cables, and all of a sudden after one iOS update, they stopped working. So I understand that. So what I try to do is keep it. I buy name brand like Amazon Basics lightning cables, I think they make. Anchor, Belkin, anything with a name that I know got authorization from Apple to make their cables, that's the only ones I use. I will only be using those. So I'm gonna now click continue. So now it's telling me to connect it. I haven't connected it yet. Let me connect it. This is the next screen that comes up. And what I like about it is that it will be backing up and charging at the same time. The problem with this is that if you have a lot to back up, right, which I've had incidents where people bring me phones with thousands of pictures and videos, and their battery runs out during the transfer. And that leads sometimes to transfers of corrupt files. So unless it's wireless charging, and still sometimes under wireless charging, because the wireless is not charging the way that something physically, when you plug it in, charges, I could still lose power wirelessly while doing the transfer, depending on the amount of data you have transferred. So if you have like 100 gigs of data or more, it could take out 100% battery with this device. So that's the only issue I have. So after a certain amount of time, so I'll take this with me on vacation. After about 2 or 3 days, if I've taken hundreds of pictures, I'm gonna do a backup so I don't go run into that issue. But with this device, I shouldn't care. and I should be able to do it since it will be able to charge full charge. You can buy a high-speed charger, and it'll a fast charger, and it will charge while it backs up. So it's going to be, you know, I think a much better item to use. So let me actually get the item. This is just an extension cord I have right now just to show you. So I'm actually going to plug in the device right here. This is pretty much the way it'll go. And let me get an authorized Apple certified cable. So this is a Belkin one. I purchased this a while back when cables were a lot cheaper. I think I got it from on a daily special from B&H. I might have paid about, I think about $2.99 or $3.99, and I bought like, you know, 4 or 5 of them. So we plug it in and see what happens. I'm hoping that this power source is still working the way it's supposed to be. Yep, there it goes. It's seeing it. To automatically back up your phone content to apply. Yeah, I'm gonna say okay for that. So I'm gonna click okay and authorize the backup as soon as I plug in the device. And okay, it's trusted now. Good. So let me click on okay. I want to see how it backs up too. If it makes it, do I have to go in and manually? Because I want to back up numerous items. So I'm going to back up my phone and back up my wife's phone and back up an iPad. And I want to see how it backs it up to make sure that it keeps it separate. I want to be able to back up and rename them knowing where they came from. Because that's how I do my naming scheme with actual photos, knowing that they came from my wife's phone or my phone. So now I'm going to click is disconnected. Yeah, click yes. Okay, and look at that. It's testing in progress. I guess it's testing the actual. Name the new backup folder, and the next backup will be stored in this folder. So, okay, so I'm going to name it for my phone, and I'm hoping that it continues to do that for all devices, that it'll ask me for a name and it won't put it on the same folder. Because that's what I do with this. It gives me an option to create a folder, and then I'll create, oh, look at that. Let me back that up because I don't want that. It's actually listening to me. Turn that off. Because I want it to, pretty cool. So now I could actually go to the bottom, click on the mic, and I could just verbally tell it what I want to name it if you want to do that. I just realized it did that. I actually touched the mic button. So now I'm going to create it. And you know what? Let me just put, instead of typing it, I'll click on the mic. iPhone 12 Pro Max. Okay, and then I clicked on the mic to turn it off. Oh, good. I learned something new today. So now I'm going to name it that. My wife's phone, I'll name it whatever her phone is. My son's phone, whatever that is. And that'll help me with creating folders for those specific devices. I'm going to let you know if that happens. So now I'm going to click OK. And it's going to start the backup. So I don't have much to back up. I'm going to see if one of the other phones that backup has a large amount of items to give you an idea of how long it'll take. You know, it's going to depend on the speed and the speed of the microSD. And like I said, I didn't get a high-speed one. I'm sure if you get a high-speed one, you'll have faster and better speeds to read and write. And it is charging, as you can see on top, while it's doing its backup. Okay, the backup was complete. I only had a little over 300 items. It took about 3 minutes. Okay, so now let's, yes, I love it. Sure. You know what, I'll come back. I'm not gonna give it that much rate. Oh, well, you know what? It actually went to them. I didn't actually, I thought it was gonna bring me back to the App Store. Restore, begin backup, browse photos. And this is, I bought a 1 terabyte. Not too fast. SD lock, that's a pretty cool option, so you can lock the SD. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to forget the password. It's only, you know, I'm not putting my bank records or my tax info on here, so I'm not gonna worry too much about locking it because I don't want it to cause more issues. I've always run into encryption issues. So I only save that headache with sensitive information. So 3 gigs it used. Now let's try another phone. So now I'm using my wife's phone. I'm going to connect it, and my concern is to make sure that it does show the actual, it gives me the option to not put it on the same folder to give me, to do another folder. So let me see if that occurs, like my Duo does. Excellent. So it's showing that my iPhone 12 Pro Max, it notices that it's not the same phone, so it's not going to put it on the same folder. So it's asking me to create a new folder. That's what I like. So that's an option that I'm glad about. I could select and put it in this same folder, but I don't want to do that. I want to separate them so I can know where they're coming from. So again, it gives me that option. And this one I'm just gonna name iOS Pics. Okay. And click OK. And that's the transfer. Great. So, great. She has a lot more, so it's gonna be a while. But what I'm happy about that is that I can separate the pictures. And it's doing the whole backup, the whole camera roll. I'm gonna let you know if it does also video. I'm assuming it's backing everything up, and I hope that it also saves it not in the same folder, but subfolder. But that's a lot easier to separate. You could always view it on Windows Explorer, the way I view it, and organize it by type, and then you'll be able to separate the pictures from the videos. So that's not too much of a problem. The whole thing is the transfer, knowing whose pictures are who. So now that I know there's 2 separate folders, excellent. So I'll be showing you if that comes up under Windows. My wife's backup was, I had it for about an hour and it still had a lot to go. So I'm not gonna finish that backup right now. It was only like 3% done. So that her backup's gonna take a lot longer. I don't suggest ever getting to that point where you've taken so many photos and videos and the backups will take more than a day or 2. So, you know, that way you will always have, the backups will be a lot faster and easier. Okay, that being said, my biggest thing again is the iOS, the actual fact that this is an Android, so it does recognize USB-C. So USB-C, that's great. My iPad Pro is a USB-C, not a Lightning. So what I'm looking is to make sure that, see Lightning right there. I mean a USB-C, not Lightning. So I'm hoping that it still works with the iOS device, the actual backup, since it actually supports Android, which is naturally USB-C. But remember, this is iOS, Android is Android. So I'm hoping there is no difference. It still will back up when it sees the USB-C, and if it's iOS, it won't matter. I mean, that was my biggest issue, is that the Duolink app and the Duolink device only worked with Lightning, not USB-C. So I couldn't use this to back this up. So I always ran into that issue. So I'm hoping this solves that issue. This is the main reason why I have this device. Not only, but you know what? Like I said, I still like it because I'll be able to use it on vacation. I usually take pictures with my iPhone, not my iPad. But it would be very beneficial if it works. So I'm going to be trying it for the first time with you guys, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm connecting it directly. Awesome. Oh, wait. Did it? Yes, it worked. Awesome. You have no idea how long it's taken me to find a device that will back up this iPad Pro easily. I'm talking about ease. Yes, you can go through the actual file browser that they give you here, and you can copy and paste and everything, but you got to keep track on what you're doing, because I also want to delete what I already backed up, just for the simple fact that I don't want to have duplicates in the future, and I want to free up space so I could take more pictures, even with the iPad. So that's awesome. It seems to be working. Trust it now. Click yes. Awesome. Now let me create a new one, and I'm going to call this iPad Pro. Click OK. Great. Oh, this is what. So now this device is my overall backup. I will be using this sparingly, since this actually will do everything, including keep the device charged while the backup occurs. This is definitely my new backup device. This thing right here. Not this over here. This is definitely my backup. This I will just keep on the side, but this is going to be my new backup. I might actually get a second one just to make sure that I lose this one or it stops working, I have another one. Awesome. It's solving all my backup issues with my iOS devices. All we have is iOS, so my kids and my wife also have iPad Pros, and they take snapshots or they download pictures that they receive from family members through text or through email, and they also take pictures with this if that's the only device they're holding when a picture occurrence is present while they have their iPad Pro. So this is definitely as you can see, I do a lot of backups, and you can see that I don't have much to back up because I continuously back up and remove the devices. So, I did an automatic backup completed. There were 68 items being backed up from the backup record is whatever. I don't see that it's actually not giving me the option to delete the files after they're backed up. I don't know if it's doing that automatically. So let me look within the actual app. Backup items, 2 items. Notification, backup details, trusted. Let me just double check, because this gives me the option to delete the items after I do the backup. I don't want to keep the items on here. But again, that's not a big deal. I could actually go in and just select everything that's been backed up and delete it myself and keep it within the deleted folder until it expires. I don't usually delete it completely. I usually leave it in there. If I do need to access it right away, I still will have it in the deleted folder, but I want that option for the items to be removed. So let me see if it was automatically removed, or I have to go within the actual app itself to have that done automatically. So within the folder on the backup details, again, I clicked on that little star right there, a little sprocket, and the settings came up, and on the settings, on the backup details. So you have all these options within there. Backup details. The items are still in there, so I looked and I saw them. So it's still connected, physically connected. So let me remove backup items from your phone. That's the option down here. Now, let me go into my photos folder and let you know if it's all gone. So it worked. It deleted all the items. I got to figure out to see if it does it automatically while I'm doing the backups, or I have to go in here every single time. Not a big deal, but it's an option I want to do because I don't want the items. I'm looking to free up space on my phone and on the iPad, and to keep it here and then back it up to my computer. So let me just look within here, see if there's an option that it gives you that, and let me come back to you. I looked through the whole app and the settings, and I couldn't find anything that would allow the automatic deletion of the photos and videos once they're backed up to this item to happen automatically. So I may have to go in all the time. But not a big deal, but it's just something. I hope they update that. This is pretty cool. You know, I hope they update that in a future update. If you're listening, I would love that option to come up and say, hey, do you want to delete what you backed up? And just do it from there. But you'll have to go in. But it's interesting what's inside the settings. But for right now, browser history, this is the actual format that it uses within there. So as you can see, iOS pics, that's my wife's pictures, the iPad Pro, and the iOS 12 Pro Max. Now, what's nice about this is, again, it's separated. So I know what's where everything goes, because when I organize in my on my computer, I need that information. To have everything all at once, it gets very confusing. So let me see what that's about. Oh, that's just a check mark to delete those items, and I don't want to delete those things. Let me click cancel. So now that that's done, begin backup. That's to just bring up the actual backup information. Let me see what happens since it already has everything backed up. Automatic backup complete. Doesn't ask, gives me an option to delete. Restore, I'm assuming this will restore it back to whatever you had, the actual photos and videos, put them back exactly where they are. I'm not looking to do that. I have a 1 terabyte, as you can see there. You can see that I have 18 gigs of used space, and I still have a terabyte left. And again, like I said, the reason I got a terabyte is because of the amount of cameras that we carry. I can back everything up and not worry about space, and keep it in there for as long as I need until I have a chance to do the transfer. This is the actual settings. This is the ID, so you can get, according to this, you can register it to a specific email, to Facebook account, or to an Apple account or Google account. And that's for the warranty. I may do that later. Help and support, you can get help and support, user manual, things like that within here. Let me go back. Extended warranty, begin registration process. I'm not doing that right now. App lock, you can actually lock the actual app and require a password. Let me see, it's saying you put in a password, and that way anybody that runs it needs a password to unlock the actual app. Keep browser settings, save your current browser photos. I guess this is different ways to view pictures and stuff like that, and details. If you have the app, you can see this for yourself. Okay, and automatic backup items. So over here, within here, I am making a few changes. And the few changes, I'm doing the backup camera roll. That's fine. I'm doing a full backup. I'm not gonna do albums. You could do albums. So if you create your own albums, you know what, let me turn it back. Let me turn it on. What the heck? It'll subdivide the actual, I don't want it. I just thought about it. But others, they create albums while you take pictures. So you could actually create an album, and you can say you're in Mexico, and then the next week you're in Canada. So you could create albums to take pictures and videos and set them in those albums within your phone. And I guess doing album backups, it'll separate that, which is pretty cool. Thinking about that actually might be a good idea, just in case I don't get a chance to do the backup while I'm taking these pictures. So I'm going to leave it on. Backup iCloud content, so you can actually back up through Wi-Fi things you have on iCloud onto this actual device according to the app. Export photos with a traditional format, JPEG, iOS 11 new format. Please know that HEIC format is only accessible with Apple devices, we recommend exporting to JPEG for best compatibility. I agree with that. I don't take pictures or videos with this format. I use compatible mode within my phone. It makes life a lot easier for everybody else when I send the pictures to someone who has, let's say, an Android or a Mac computer, or I'm sorry, a Windows computer. Just makes it easier. Automatic generate mini albums. I'm not looking to use that. Again, you can see that within there. Original photo. Keep original photos. If you retouch your photos, it actually keeps it within the system, it says down here, so that you can also keep the original photo. I'm going to actually check that off. I'd rather keep the original photo. If I do make some changes to the original photo, if they're raw or something, I want to keep the original photo format itself. So I'm done here. I'm going backup camera. Backup contacts, I don't need that. I think, you know what, let me leave it. I'll leave it just in case it ever comes in handy. I'll back it up, and that way I'll have my contacts constantly backed up. iTunes media, I don't need that. You can back up that media. You can back up Facebook content. Don't want to do that. Instagram, Flickr, or Twitter. All that is off. I don't need it. Download using Wi-Fi only, since I'm not actually going to be backing up my Facebook account or anything like that. I'm going to turn that off. I don't need to download using Wi-Fi. I actually rather just do the actual physical connection, and that's it. And if I want to make changes to back up my accounts online, I'll come in here and make the changes. And that's backup items. Postpone backup. I guess you can start the backup not right away. To me, I'll just leave it start immediately. And notifications. I've got it. Do not notify. Backup details. It's telling me details, the backup folder, what the folder is for this actual item. And this is where I'm going to have to constantly come in after I do a backup and remove backed up items from this phone. So I'll be doing that on my actual iPhone also. And so I'll be going in there, so I won't have duplicates of the same photo. So I'll be, after doing the backup, I'll be clicking on this to remove it from the actual phone. You don't have to do that. If you're gonna keep your phone and you just want to back up and not delete anything from your phone, then you don't go here. That's just me. Trusted device. This device is trusted. And backup iCloud content. Again, I'm not doing that. You can clear app cache, format the micro SD card, SD card test tool. Let's see what that is. Test again. Okay, they did it pretty good. So it's testing complete, SD card tested in good condition. Awesome.